Welcome to the Fast Mode's Quick Chat series. In this episode, we will discuss the transformative impact of AI and generative AI on telecom networks and customer experience. I'm Ariana Lin, Principal Analyst at the Fast Mode, and joining us today is Nisha Dutt, Managing Director and CEO at Subex. Subex is a leading business assurance, fraud, and billing vendor delivering AI-powered connected experiences for communication service providers worldwide. Founded in 1994, Subex empowers CSPs and enterprise customers to make faster and better decisions by leveraging AI across the data value chain. Great to have you on the show, Nisha.
Pleasure to be here.
Okay, so our first question for today is, what role do AI and generative AI play in transforming CSP networks? How are these technologies shaping the future of network operations and customer experience in the telecoms industry?
As you know, AI is a couple of decades old, and Gen AI, if you really think about it, it's only 2 years old. Both essentially at the heart of what they do is prediction and analysis machines, right? And wherever prediction is needed, be it in resources, network bandwidth, is there fraud in my network? It's all AI driven these days. And accuracy of prediction has improved significantly over years. So we see CSPs embracing this a lot more actually. So in specifically in networks, we are seeing that they're using it extensively in predictive maintenance to minimize downtime. We see it in terms of automated network management, where it can actually perform routine tasks like bandwidth allocation, resource management, which used to take a lot more time actually. We also see it being used in 5G slicing to manage 5G networks more efficiently. In fraud prevention specifically, we see it, being used to detect anomalies in their network and detect fraud almost real time actually. Gen AI has a different use case. We have seen Gen AI being used a lot more where there is customer experience involved. Because Gen AI has really grown at the back of the social media proliferation. All the interactions that we do today are text-based. It's more language. So user experience and customer experience has emerged as top use case for Gen AI. It specifically, we see it being used in AI-powered chatbots, virtual assistants, and especially when you layer it with a Gen AI layer, what it does is it can handle complex queries and provide real-time and accurate responses. We ourselves actually implemented a use case where we used it in a contact center, a call center for a CSP. And when assisted with Gen AI, we actually saw that the performance of a call center agent improved dramatically. So a call that used to take almost, let's say, 3 calls for, a billing query resolution actually went down to 1 call. And that's like a huge saving for a CSP. So we are seeing a lot of Gen AI use cases in those things. We are also seeing cases for content and services generation, right? So CSPs can actually create personalized content for users. They can provide automated summaries of your complex bills. They can personalize advertisements and media suggestions that they give you basis, what you actually watch on their network. So we are seeing a lot of potential, and depending on where the CSP is on their journey, we see them embrace some are actually really excited about Gen AI, and they are sort of experimenting and dabbling in it. And we have also seen some CSPs that almost have a mandate that 10% of my productivity savings going forward have to come from Gen AI, not just AI, Gen AI. So we see the whole spectrum. There are people who are, still more on the AI side. There are people dabbling on Gen AI, and then there are, people who have converted already and say that I want a lot more savings and, efficiencies coming from Gen AI. So we are seeing the whole spectrum, which has become very interesting. But essentially, what we are seeing is in summary, I would say that it really has impact on scalability of networks. It's able to lower costs for CSPs, and we know that CSPs, their balance sheets are stressed today. So we see that it's able to bring in a lot of operational efficiencies for them and improve customer satisfaction. They are able to almost hyper personalize content for customers. It allows them to do that. So we are seeing improved customer satisfaction. So these are the 3 areas where I would say that it has had the most impact.
That's exciting. So you mentioned predictions and analytics. What are some of the challenges in leveraging AI for decision analytics? How does Subex's HyperSense AI address these challenges?
I think decision analytics, see, leveraging AI for decision analytics actually offers a tremendous potential to CSPs. But we know that it comes with a lot of challenges as well. So the first challenge I will cite, and this is also our personal experience, is quality of data, right? In in AI, as in every analytics, I would say it's really the principle of garbage in, garbage out. If your quality of data is not good and if it's not organized well, then what AI can do for your data is really limited. What has happened in most of the CSPs that we have observed is that over years, right, CSPs have been in business for decades. And what happens is that they keep building these layers of software. So they are sitting in different billing systems, different billing platforms. They have different, CRMs that they are sitting on. So what it does is these platforms don't speak to each other. And AI algorithms at the heart of it rely on large volumes of high quality data for accurate decision making. So if your data quality itself is not very good, it's missing, inconsistent, or inaccurate, then what it does is it never comes together and it leads to a lot of flawed insights. So you are technically using AI, but it's not to its potential. So that's one of the first challenges that we have seen in all of the CSPs. The second is data is in silos. Like I said, right? It's in different billing systems, it's in different CRMs. And AI models often require integrated and unified data sets to help with anything. And since these silos are very prominent in most of the CSPs, we have seen that it gets difficult to get any meaningful analytics out of this. The third thing is, I would say, the lack of skill set itself in CSPs, right? They don't have a lot of data science teams or very robust ones. So they might be sitting on some of the best quality data, I think, in the world. Some of the best data is actually residing in CSPs. In terms of, CSPs can actually point to who you spoke to last, where were you, what was your location, how much are you transacting. I think they have a lot of information. But the issue is that they don't know what that data can do for them. How do I mine it? What is the most I can get out of that my data, and how do I use it to personalize my customer experience? They just don't understand these things. So what happens is that they have this almost like we have seen a gap in data science and analytics teams in CSPs, and all models. Even if you are able to create an AI model, let's say you hire someone and they create an AI model and go. These models are learning models, right? So you have to keep training these models. You have to do fidelity checks, you have to check for drifts, you have to check for hallucinations. And all this is something that we have seen that is not happening proactively at CSP. So this is also the third, constraint that we have seen. There is one around regulation as well. Sometimes we have seen that there are regulations in some countries that also prevent us from using the right tool. So, for instance, I would say that if you are doing anything around Gen AI, you should be using GPT-4. But a lot of CSPs have this constraint that you should use only on-prem. All I need all the LLMs to work on-prem. So what that does is it restricts us from using GPT-4, for instance. So while you are using a technology, it's not best in class, right? So that's also one of the constraints we have seen. And real-time processing. So this I would talk. This constraint comes more on the infrastructure side, where we have seen that many decision analysis applications, such as let's say predictive maintenance of networks or fraud detection, they require near real-time processing. I would not say near real-time, almost real-time processing. So achieving real-time analytics with AI requires very high speed and accuracy, which is technically challenging, and it requires extremely high advanced infrastructure. And we have seen that, all these things are the challenges when it comes to really leveraging AI for decision analytics. It goes right from, their skill set issues to infrastructure issues to the quality of data to data residing in silos. So it's all across actually to really use the power of AI. So this I would say is the challenges that we have seen, and they are all pervasive across all CSPs. And what it requires to overcome this is governance, strategic alignment within the organizations. And since we have been working in this space for almost 3 decades, Subex, these are the challenges that we are intimately aware with, because we have been working with CSPs. We understand what the challenges are, and towards this we actually created this platform called HyperSense. So HyperSense is our attempt to solve some of these problems, if not all. So HyperSense is an inherently AI first platform. and it's a unified data platform. So what it does is it integrates data from multiple sources across silos to create a unified high quality data environment. So that addresses the challenges of data fragmentation. It addresses the challenges of providing consistent data foundation to AI models. We also build AI pipelines. We do ML ops, which is machine learning operations. We do data quality checks. We do data drift checks. We continuously monitor the models that we build. So HyperSense inherently provides tool to continuously monitor AI models for performance degradation, model drift, and accuracy issues. So this ensures that models remain effective over a long period of time. So I would say that it is able to address a lot of challenges that telcos are facing. What we can't address is obviously, the infrastructure challenges at telco. But when it comes to providing a, good data source, making sure that models work over a period of time, and also giving telcos a starting point for their AI journey. Several times we have worked with telcos. They come back and ask us questions like, "I am interested in AI, but tell me what is the use case, right use case to go after." So for that, we almost have a roster of use cases that we have created that we kind of, start talking to telcos about, that these use cases will give you revenue uplift. These will give you, let's say, operational efficiency in reducing your cost. So which one would you be interested in? So we are able to actually have a starting point for their discussions. So I would say that Subex's HyperSense platform has been able to address a lot of challenges around decision analytics by providing user-friendly, no-code environment, strong data integration, and I would say explainability and ethical AI tools. That's what we have tried to do with HyperSense.
Great. Now, zooming into the outcomes of using AI, you mentioned a contact center case study earlier. Have you observed any other significant cost savings or revenue growth among CSPs as a result of deploying AI powered analytics? Can you share any notable outcomes or success stories?
So as you know, Subex is in the business of, we do two things. We have a lot of products, but the two products I would say we are most well known for is revenue assurance and fraud detection. And we have seen a lot of AI being integrated into fraud detection. Like, fraud has emerged as one of the top use cases in AI. And what we have seen is AI is able to help CSPs detect fraudulent activities, right? Be it SIM cloning, which we call a SIM box fraud, be it handset fraud, subscription fraud in real time. And if we are able to prevent these frauds real time, we see that CSPs can avoid revenue leakage, which can account to about 1 to 2% of their total revenue. It's actually as high as that. So in one of the cases that we were working with a CSP in Middle East, we saw that, so we ran a model for them, which was like, a handset fraud use case. And we saw that they were able to save like 11 million, USD it was literally couple of months. And the data set that we were using, or, we were actually using only this fraud use case on a very limited data set. And on that, we saw a huge impact. And then what they did was they went on to actually expand the use case into rest of the organization on other billing platforms that they have, and we were able to expand the use case there. So we have actually seen it being come to their any savings that we are able to do come directly to their bottom line. In terms of like Simbox fraud detection is another thing that Subex does, and we have seen there around we were able to do 92% of frauds were detected right away. That was what the client came and told us. So which was 125% more effective than the legacy solution that they were using. We were able to detect 92% of the fraud right away. And like I said, any fraud detection that you do actually goes to 1 to 2% of the total revenue. So that's why we have been able to see that when you use AI very effectively in very good use cases, where the data is very robust, you are able to see the impact on the bottom line almost immediately. So that's the kind of impact that we have actually seen on the use cases that we have worked on.
Fantastic. Our last question is, as one of the few women CEOs leading a listed technology firm globally, how do you see the combination of technologies such as AI and workforce inclusiveness fostering workplace equality?
I think AI, the way I see AI, I think it has truly democratized skills and knowledge. Um, so when I say skills and knowledge, it's at everyone's fingertip, right? All of us are, I would say, a lot more better off. We use ChatGPT constantly. I mean, I would say in a day, I don't know how many times I use it. for different things, but it has truly democratized that, right? I mean, it is at our fingertips in a concise, summarized manner. You are not going and clicking Google links anymore. Somebody has summarized it and put it in front of you. So it is democratization of knowledge in that sense. And skills as well. So skills, I will tell you a specific example. So for instance, within Subex, we use GitHub Copilots. What that does is it lets people code a lot more efficiently. All our engineers are using GitHub Copilots. So their efficiency of coding, error rates have really gone down dramatically. So efficiency is high, the error rates are low. So what something like a GitHub Copilot does is I would say that it levels the playing field, right? When it comes to inclusiveness in a person who has 3 years of coding experience versus a person who has 5 years of coding experience, it almost, I wouldn't say that it levels the playing field completely, but it almost levels the playing field because a person who with 3 years is able to code almost as effectively as a person who has 5 years experience. So that kind of improves the overall efficiency of the organization really hugely. So I think in terms of barriers, it has really lowered the barriers, and that's something that we have seen ourselves within Subex when we implemented this. Um, the second thing I think is we use AI to hire, right? So workplace and talent acquisition. This I think is the best use case because what it does is it removes, the biases that we have in hiring, in promotions, in performance reviews. What it does is it helps us make decisions which are more, I think, skills and merit based and not, driven by people's and managers' biases. So it can really help create, pathways for people to really perform well and, be evaluated fairly. So that's another thing that I've seen which creates a more, fairer workplace. The third thing is about, of course, I think we have a policy of we are still working on this hybrid model, which is a few days in office and few days out of it. And AI especially has been very helpful in promoting a flexible work environment, which I think is important because people have their personal and professional responsibilities, and it also helps our diversity metrics, right? Because many a times women have this, they may be going through a particular phase in life where they might need a lot more flexibility, let's say, than men counterpart. And we have been able to use AI and technologies when it comes to coding copilots, when it comes to actually remote working, where we are able to offer a lot more flexibility. And it what it has done is it improves our gender representation at work. So we see lower churn, we see women staying in workforce a lot longer. So I think in that sense, I wouldn't say that we have 100% cracked it, the workplace equality, but I think we are well on our way to create a more inclusive work environment. So we are seeing a lot of benefits with this.
Brilliant. That wraps up today's episode. Thank you, Nisha, for sharing your fantastic insights and expertise on the future of AI and generative AI in telecoms.
Thank you, Ariana. It's been a pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the FastMode's Quick Chat series. To learn more, visit www.subex.com and follow us for more updates and insights as we continue to uncover the latest in technology and telecommunications. See you in our next session.
Thank you. Bye bye.